Hello everyone, this is Vigilante Reviews. So yesterday I went through this whole big long trial and error trying to find myself a screen recorder. Now there is the OBS screen recorder, but I did not get that one because there's concerns of downloading software offline, concerns about hackers and personal information theft. So I'm just going with this for now. I don't know, for some reason this recorder only records like about 3 minutes of audio before cutting out. So last night I recorded 2 full videos. The first one didn't have any audio at all. The second one had only about 3 minutes and then it cut out. So I'm kind of trying this Frankenstein approach here where I record on my audio recording software and then record the screen and then kind of splice it all together. So you guys will have to tell me how you would suggest overcoming this problem, or I don't know, hopefully it sounds okay. But anyway, I am excited to have a screen recorder. I think it'll help me get out a lot more content because I can just record. Most of the things that I want to talk about come from articles and videos and things like that, and this is a good way to show you guys what I'm talking about. If you guys remember the last video or 2 videos ago, I tried filming my computer screen with my phone. Obviously that looked very cheap and unprofessional. So hopefully this looks a little better. So yeah, today I just want to go over what I kind of was talking about in that last video, which is DC 5G, the Generation 5 event that's going to be happening over the summer, and share more of my thoughts on it, or at least reshare my thoughts on it. So this is another article by Nathan Payson, who was the same guy that put together that awesome master list of 5G related articles and comics and everything like that. So he talks about when it will start, what should you read to get ready, books that will be coming out that might influence this. So we got the Flash Forward miniseries, Wonder Woman 750, which there's only one story in that, which I think is going to relate to the event. But then we got James Tynion's run on Batman, which started at issue 86, and apparently that will bring more attention to Luke Fox, who is Lucius Fox's son, and he's rumored to become the new Batman. And we got Justice League 1 through 46, which I read most of those. I think I've read up to like issue 34. I didn't think Scott Snyder went all the way to 46. I thought it was maybe 36, but I don't know. Anyway, I've read most of those, and it did not make me a Scott Snyder fan because most of the issues were set up for the next issue, and it kind of continued like that until like every 10 issues. So it was like 9 issues, you got your build up, you got the character introduction, and then the 10th issue something actually happened, and most of the time it wasn't that significant anyways. So that's why I was not super excited about that. And then I read one issue of The Last Night on Earth, and it was just kind of weird, and Wonder Woman looked very weird, and I just wasn't a fan. So I don't know if I would say I'm a Scott Snyder fan. Really not. And then we got Batman Superman 1 through 6, which is written by Joshua Williamson, and I got the first like 4 issues of that. I haven't read them all. It just kind of lost interest in it at about issue 2. So there's that. Don't know anything about You're the Villain. And then Far Sector is supposed to be the main character. She's supposed to become the new Green Lantern. I've seen 1 or 2 reviews of the first couple issues by DNC, Diversity in Comics, now known as Comics Matter, with your boy Zach. You can't tell. I'm not sounding super hyped about this because I've already recorded this twice. And in the first 2, I talked a lot about just what I had done what I had done earlier yesterday, because I was kind of thinking about how I can improve my videos, or at least make them more enjoyable. I personally really enjoy Zach's videos on his channel, and I think a big part of that is he just talks to you like you are just a friend, the guy that just like a good coworker you catch up with, so he just kind of fills you in with what he's like doing that day, funny stories about it. And I know this sounds kind of weird, but it really does. You feel just like he's like you're part of the gang, he's part of the gang, So that's something I would like to try to start doing. Right now, I'm just trying to get a video that's screen recorded up, so I can know if this system will work or not. But anyways, so coming up, we got Dark Knight's Death Metal, which is a direct sequel of Dark Knight's Metal. I didn't read that. Apparently it had a lot to do with the source wall stuff that was going on in the Justice League run that I did read. But again, it was done by Scott Snyder, who tends to think about stuff too much. And it really bogs down his comics, in my opinion. What I am really excited for is this Joker work, which is supposed to be written by Scott Snyder. So, after harping on his writing, I'm going to say that I am excited for this book. There's been a rumor for several years now that there are three Jokers, not just the one. And the 3 different ones are the gangster version, the psychopath version, and then the clown prince of crime, goofy Joker that we see in like the 60s Batman, where it's, he just is kind of a, he's not exactly dangerous, he's just a crazy guy. But then you've got the psychopath, who's more of the Joaquin Phoenix, kind of the Heath Ledger Joker, and then we got the mobster Joker, which is like the one from the Batman 1989 Michael Keaton version. Jack Nicholson, of course, played that role. So, anyways, this is gonna finally give us the answers, what that is all about. And so I'm excited to finally see what happens with all of that. I hope it's a good story. I hope... Really, the only good thing that I've heard Scott Snyder has wrote is his run on Batman during the New 52, The Court of Owls. I've heard a lot of good things about that, and apparently that's why he's become famous and has gotten all these... Well, famous as you get in the comic book world, but why he's getting all these books now is because of his run on that. So hopefully he writes Batman better than he writes Justice League. And then we get the 80th anniversary specials, and already we've gotten the Flash one, which I do have. I don't think the Wonder Woman 750 is considered an 80th anniversary, but it is an anniversary issue, so I guess that counts. we'll be getting a Green Lantern one, and then the one that I'm really excited for is the Robin one, which we'll be getting, which comes out tomorrow. And I would like to try to get out to the comic book store, even among all of this craziness that's going on. I think they're still open, from what I've heard. I haven't heard that they're closed or anything, so I would like to go and at least support them a little bit during these crazy times. But anyway, apparently at the somewhere in these anniversary specials will be 1 or 2 stories relating to this Generation 5 huge event. And then it officially starts with Generation 0, Gods Among Us, which will be the Free Comic Book Day comic that comes out in May. And that will be the official starting point for this event. So after that comes out, then we get the 5 one-shots. We get Generation 1, Age of Mysteries, G2, Age of the Metahuman, G3, Age of Crisis, G4, Age of Rebirth, and G5, Age of Tomorrow. And I actually think those titles, considering the eras that they're talking about, fit pretty well. So we got Generation 1, which is supposedly going to be covering the Golden Age, which is going to be 1938 until 1950, roughly. So Age of Mysteries kind of implies, the old school detective stories, the Pulp Fiction, noir type of story. So I'm really excited to see what comes out of that. Age of the Metahumans, going to be covering the Silver Age, so 50s to late 60s, and that's where we get a lot of the I don't want to say goofy, but fun, more focused towards kids, the really bombastic, I guess is a good word for that. The old school 60s Batman TV show, think of all it's basically when comics got the stereotype of superheroes being goofy and for kids and everything like that, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I do enjoy some stories from that time. Some really weird stuff happened as well, but this is when Barry Allen became the Flash, Hal Jordan became Green Lantern, so I think we'll be getting a lot of those stories with this one shot. Then we get Age of Crisis, which will be Bronze Age, so that's going to be 70s to 90s, I'm going to say, roughly in there somewhere. That's going to be, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Infinite Crisis, The Death of Superman, Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. I don't know if we'll get Watchmen stuff with this. That would be really interesting, since we just finished with Doomsday Clock, which was Watchmen set in the DC universe, basically, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I'm not exactly sure what to expect, but that's kind of the Bronze Age, when characters were getting darker, stories were becoming more serious, and comics started being taken a bit more seriously in terms of that, considered actual literature. So yeah, that's kind of looking forward to seeing that. Then we get Age of Rebirth, which this is the one I really don't know what they're going to do with. I don't know if it'll cover the time between, the late 90s to 2010-ish. Not a whole lot happened during that time. There was a lot of animation stuff that became popular. You got the Batman animated series, Justice League, Teen Titans, the Batman. So really, DC became popular through those outlets rather than through the comics. Not a whole lot happened. Maybe just the Batman R.I.P. event, and the Green Lantern Blackest Night event. That's really all I can think of that happened during that time. So I don't know if they'll kind of take the most important things, a couple things here and there, and then focus on. And this is really what I think they're going to do. Is they're going to focus on everything after Flashpoint. So Flashpoint is when we got the birth of the New 52 universe. So that was that relaunch to try and get new readers, to come in and start buying comics. But in doing so, they made a lot of the classic fans angry because they did away with a lot of the cool origin story pieces, a lot of the foundational character arcs that had made these characters so popular. They kind of did away with that. And so then they relaunched and we got DC Rebirth, which was still trying to get, try to be a place where new readers could come and jump onto these books, and they didn't have to read 75 years of history. They could just start right here, and then also keep the classic story arcs for the diehard fans that had been reading DC Comics for years. And really, they did a good job with all of that until this dude right here, Brian Michael Bendis, came in and kind of ruined all of that. So that is unfortunate that happened. In my last two videos, I got a lot more into my frustrations with that and a lot more animated. But I'm just going to move on to Age of Tomorrow. So since DC Rebirth kind of fizzled out after DC made their executive decisions, this is where we're going to see what the future of DC Comics holds. This is where, if the rumors are true and the title characters are being replaced, this is where it's going to happen. John Kent would become Superman, Luke Fox would become Batman, the chick from Far Sector would become Green Lantern. I don't know who's replacing Wonder Woman. I'm not exactly sure who would replace her. Wally West might replace the Flash. I'm not exactly sure yet, but this is where we're going to see really the new look of DC. This is where we're going to see that kind of painted and shown. So it lists some of the writers. I'm very disappointed Brian Michael Bendis is involved with this. I hate his writing. I haven't read anything from when he was at Marvel. I've seen a couple reviews of his Iron Man books, and those were absolutely awful. Yes, he created Miles Morales. He created co-created the Ultimate Universe, which really boosted Marvel sales in the early 2000s. So Bendis is good at writing new stories, but he is horrible at writing old characters, established characters, and coming up with new stories for them. And his writing style just drives me nuts. It's like, LOL so random, hashtag slay girl. I don't even think I can do the voice. I'm too manly to do the voice, guys, but this dude. Alright, so then we get Dan Jurgens. He's a solid writer for sure. Don't know much about Andy Schmidt. I've heard this guy's name. Joshua Williamson has been on Flash since Rebirth started, and I've heard a lot of good things about that run. Artists Doug Menke does solid stuff. Brian Hitch, good artist. Don't know about this dude. Ivan Reyes did the Man of Steel and I think the No Justice, or parts of the No Justice, those miniseries. I'm not a fan of his art. He tends to focus too much on the backgrounds, in my opinions. And when he does that, he kind of makes the characters... Well, he makes the art hard to follow, and then he also makes the characters blend into the background. It's like, I'm more of a fan of, kind of plain and basic backgrounds, and then really making those characters pop. I want to focus on the characters. That's who we're here to read about. That's who we're here to see. Make the characters pop and prominent. Don't worry about the tiny itty-bitty details in the back. But that's just my subjective opinion. But yeah. And so these one-shots will reveal a piece of the 5 timeline and will be extra-sized and prestige format. So prestige format is what the Black Label books are. We get, the oversized, square-bound cardstock covers. Really nice format, better ink, better paper. Hopefully, in theory, we should get better stories from those type of prestige books too. I personally don't think Bendis deserves to be on one of these prestige format books, but apparently if you read Miles Morales, you're immortal. Whatever. And I'm actually a fan of these prestige formats. I think they look really slick. They kind of give the book more of a, what's a good word? They just give them a cleaner look, more respectable look, something you would actually see on bookshelves. So anyway, I think that's where this video ends. I will, of course, be looking more into this as updates. I will be buying these books when they release them. I hope it's better than All New, All Different Marvel, which Bendis, I'm sure, had a very big hand in, and we know how well that did. So hopefully they just keep Bendis on a very tight leash. Hopefully he doesn't write very much, because reading his books is sometimes torturous. It really is. It's awful. But anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. For those of you who are affected by this virus, some of you guys I know are getting hammered pretty hard. My heart goes out to you. We're all in this together, and we're gonna get through this. I was out and about yesterday and the day before. I saw people playing at the parks, kids shooting hoops, riding bikes. So the world is gonna keep on spinning. We just got to get through this, and don't freak out, don't panic. We're all going to be okay. And so anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of this video.